Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up the Bills! It's not outside! It's not outside!
Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Want me now listen, everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition, they say we trippin'. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flippin'. We on a mission, got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream, by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Coast to Coast. Little 2K will be solo tonight, so shout out to Beyond. He's got some family stuff going on. So tonight, you just gotta deal with me for a little bit. Not gonna be before you long, but we're gonna try to be strong and get through this really, really quickly. Trying to catch up on some more messages. Um, yeah, so all season continues. Not going to continue to belabor the point that uh, we don't want to be here right now, but it is what it is, man. You know, we lost, so here we are. But in other news, man, the offseason has not been a disappointment. Um, Joe Brady's done a very good job of finishing out the hirings for his new staff. So we look forward to those guys getting to work, adding a very, very highly touted DB's coach, which this season makes a lot of sense. Um, the secondary is an area where we need to continue to get younger and continue to get better. We've got some older guys there, and hi Pearl, how you doing? Pearl from the sea. I feel like that's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So listen, he's done a good job of adding some key additions to his staff. Uh, I'm very excited about the DB's coach. We brought back a linebackers coach that we had before. That was I think he was with the Giants, and then we just brought him back to continue to do the same job, but he's going to be doing it for us. And those are two areas where the Bills need to get younger. So at linebacker, obviously we got Shaq Thompson, Matt Milano. Those guys are a little older, and it's time to transition at within the next year or so. into getting some younger guys in there and um, let those guys play a little less and get some of these young guys on the field. So um, yeah, so that's the move. Um, Big dog. All right, what's up? Yeah, what's going on? But what's up, dog? You always hold me down, man. I appreciate you. But Joe Brady's added, and from every one of these added, it gives me like what I get from the staff from his staff edition is that he understands that this needs to be um, an attitude change, not just an attitude change, but we also need uh, a mentality change. Like some of these guys are extremely fiery. They're kind of in your face characters or personalities, and you kind of need that. The Bills need to set the tone, and right along with that, I got to go with the addition of the defensive coordinator Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard is his style of defense, or the way he calls defense. It's much like his playing style, which is very physical, very high energy, high effort. Um, what's going on now? This is like somebody on YouTube playing, man. But anyway, um, yeah, Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard's the new DC, and the way that he played is the way he calls his games. Like he's coming downhill. When he was the DC in Wisconsin, he oh listen, Scott, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope hope things get better. Uh, and I while he was the DC with Wisconsin, his blitz, the amount of times that he blitzed or his percentage of blitzing on his defensive calls continuously increased year after year after year. Um, and in order to do that, you have to trust the guys in coverage behind that blitz. You got to trust the guys up front to do the right thing so that the blitz is effective. And blitzing the quarterback, blitzing the run is going to do one of two things, man. It's either going to create more negative plays, create turnovers, things like that. And well, listen, Scott, if you're 5 years old, you shouldn't be up right now. You should be getting ready for school. Uh, but you know, I expect Jim Leonard to be very active. I expect this defense to be tone setting. I expect them to go on attack mode throughout the year. I expect them to dictate to the offense how the game is going to be played. Um, and I'm expecting the same from the offense. Joe Brady has shown us that he has the ability to, uh, kind of light it up, kind of fill up the stat sheet throughout the air. So I want to see more of that. Obviously, in order to do that, they're going to have to add some other receivers, through the draft, through free agency, the trade market, etc. Uh, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Bills get done this offseason. Some of the trade targets. We'll just go with receiver right now. Um, there's DJ Moore. Uh, you know, Justin Jefferson hasn't said anything about wanting to be traded, but his numbers, got worse with JJ McCarthy there. The only thing with having pieces, you gotta really revamp. Yeah, that dog. We're gonna talk about this, man, because Shaq Thompson's come out and said that he has played in the 3-4. He can be effective in the 3-4. So a lot of the guys that we thought, were McDermott guys, um, I think they're gonna stick it out and try to land a spot on this roster next year. So um, I'm actually kind of happy about that. Like we get some continuity in the roster, that would be good if we can do that. I don't think any of these spots are already spoken for outside of like a few guys. Like Bernard's not going anywhere. I highly doubt Rousseau is going anywhere. Benford's definitely not going anywhere. Maxwell Harrison, guys like that, they're not going anywhere. They'll be here. Now, there are other guys who may or may not come back, depending on cap situation, depending on a lot of stuff. Yeah, Ed Oliver, he's not going anywhere. Um, Deion Walker, he's not like those guys are good. Um, so I don't expect there to be a ton of turnover, but I do expect some players to not be brought back because they just underperformed. I just don't think that they're going to be able to make the transition. A tough time, and they just underperformed. Like I expect Taylor Rapp to be. We save money by letting them go. I don't expect them to be back. The same for Darnell Savage, same for Dane Jackson, same for who else? I'd be surprised if Dwayne Carter's still on his team. Um, I would be surprised if Brandon Cogington is on this team next year. I'd be surprised if Damar Hamlin's still on this team next year. I don't think those guys will still be here. I'd be surprised if Cam Lewis is still on this team. I mean, I like Cam Lewis. I think Cam Lewis has been a solid player for us, been a solid contributor. I expect him to still be here, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's not. Um, Joey, yeah, I think Bosa wants to stay. I know it's a 3-4, but if Joey moves inside, I think that really helps. But see now that's the thing. Some guys that some did one of the issues. Everybody keeps talking about the big name. You get a Yeah, we're gonna talk about this as well. Yeah, that's the name right there, baby. Michael Pittman Jr. Um, but listen, uh, the defensive rotation, I mean, the defensive line rotation has been a sore point for some Bills fans. We don't like the fact that, um, guys have to sit down and we're constantly bringing guys in and out of there. And nobody's able to really get into a rhythm. I mean, that's what you're going to be dealing with now. If we're not dealing with a short yardage situation, you are going to see multiple guys coming in and out. It's going to be, 2, 3 plays here for this guy based on the situation, he's coming out, and somebody else is going in. So just be prepared for that because we have a lot of guys that want to be here, and I don't know how many. I don't know how feasible it is to try to move on for some of them um, this offseason. So a guy like Bosa, he's going to make $7 million just for he's gonna make $7 million from the Buffalo Bills this year anyway. You might as well pay him. Pay him to come back and play. Throw him an extra 4 or 5 or whatever. That'll give him 12 total. You can massage the cap a little bit because he still has some void years left. But if you don't bring him back, all those void years hit immediately. Actually, I think they hit immediately anyway. I'm not. Don't quote me on that yet. But I think they all hit immediately anyway. Same with Milano. Like Milano's getting $11 million this year from the Buffalo Bills. I don't want to pay Milano $11 million to go and play somewhere else. God forbid he goes to the Jets or Miami and has a really good year. And we got to hear about it. We're paying him to beat on us. I don't need that. So let me get those guys back. Uh, we'll figure out a way to play. And Jim Leonard, I believe he made a statement. He was saying, he understands that this is going to be a little different than what he's used to running based on the personnel that we have. And there's some limitations Like we get that. This is I don't believe that anybody was really planning for this, planning to not go to the Super Bowl and for Sean McDermott or Brandon Bean to potentially lose their job this offseason. Nobody was really planning for that. It just kind of happened, and here we are. Let's figure it out. Um, Michael Pittman Jr. Yes, receiver has been thrown out a lot. People are saying all this stuff about let's get this receiver, Justin Jefferson. Let's get AJ Brown. Let's go get Pickens, Jalen Waddle. You know, you name it, you name it. Just any big time receiver. Bills Mafia, for the most part, is clamoring for that individual. I don't, I don't completely understand it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Um, I get that the offense in certain spots has looked hard. I understand that we run into a wall in some spots against some really good defenses where um, they kind of got after us. They got to Josh a bunch of times, or they just stuff like that. Um, the offense was hard. The offense was difficult, and it is what it is. We can't do anything about that right now. What we can do is try to figure out ways to make it work a little bit better, more efficiently, without destroying the cap. I would love to add a Jordan. I would love to add a Justin Jefferson. I'd love to add AJ Brown. I'd love to get Jalen Waddle on this team, Chris Olave, all of these different guys. I'd love to. The problem is those guys are going to cost 30 million at least, 30 or more. Um, and with some of the issues that we have on the other side of the ball, we just can't really afford to make that level of investment. Like, can it happen? Yes. Should it happen? No, no, it shouldn't. What's up, Q? What's going on, bro? Um, so what should we do? Well, the Bills should go after a wide receiver. They should go after a couple of wide receivers, to be honest. Um, I don't know if Curtis Samuel remains on this team because right now the wide receiver room looks like this: Khalil Shakir, Joshua Palmer, Keon Coleman, um, Tyrell Shavers, and Curtis Samuel. Dave Davis is a free agent. Brandon Cooks is a free agent. So, and Miko Harmon, I believe, is a free agent. Yeah, Miko's a free agent as well. I think we signed him to like a futures deal or something like that. I could be wrong, but so far that's what we're working with. So we got to add a couple of guys for sure. I think Shavers, being that he got hurt so late in the season, I don't know when he's going to be available to come back. Same with Gabe Davis, even though Gabe is like not really technically Gabe's not part of the team. Um, I would like to see Shavers come back. I thought Shavers gave us some pretty good snaps when he was here, not just in the run blocking game, but as well as a receiver. A guy getting downfield, big target, made some contested catches, made some big plays for us. I think we gotta respect that, and I would like to see that guy come back and get another shot with this team. Um, so who else? Curtis Samuel. He's entering the last year of his deal. I don't know if he. I don't know if he stays on the team. I don't know if they cut him. You save money if you cut him. We'll cut him. That's where I'm at. Just cut him. Um, he. I think Curtis Samuel's a good play. He's too injured. He rarely plays. So while all the talent could be there, if I never see it on the field, what's the point? Um, not paying the guy to sit and train his off. But at the same time, there's some rumblings about the way McDermott was running the practices. The guys were getting hurt because the practice was too hard or whatever. I don't know. A lot of this is like wait and see stuff. So that's where we're at. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, there are. So getting back to the wide receiver point, there are wide receivers out there that the Bills could afford. Could they afford to trade for Justin Jefferson? Absolutely. They could afford to trade for him and pay him. Could they figure out a way to, sign George Pickens to a long-term deal? Sure. Pickens said he wants to stay in Dallas, but in the event that he doesn't, yeah, the Bills could do it. Uh, could they trade for AJ Brown? Yes, absolutely. Could they trade for Jalen Waddle and afford these guys? Olave, yes. Could they? No. Cost too much. Let's be more frugal. Um, and when I say frugal, I don't mean like I'm not saying cheap, like don't spend on the offense, but you can't complain about how bad the defense is, how we don't get to the quarterback, and how, man, I just really want to see Josh Allen not have to carry the team and for the defense to come through one time in a big game and get and Josh doesn't have to be perfect. All right, well, then you're gonna have to spend on the defense. You can't say all of that and then say, I'm tired of spending on defense. Go out and get more wide receivers. So all you're doing is putting it right where you said you don't want it, which is in Josh's hand. It's kind of like after the playoff game against Cincinnati. What did you guys say? Or what did Bills fans say? Bills fans said, I don't want to see Josh Allen get beat up like that again. You've got to fix this offensive line. We've got to be more multiple. We've got to have a run game so that Josh is not taking these hits. Tired of seeing Josh running QB power into the end zone and getting clobbered by defenders. Okay. Brandon Bean heard you. And he went out and fixed the offensive line and got a running back. And we started running the football more. And you guys are complaining that we're not utilizing the quarterback. We're not maximizing his ability. What do you want? Figure it out. Pick. You can't say I want him to get protected. And then when they invest in the offensive line, say, well, why don't we have receivers? You know why? Because we have a pair of tackles who are making market value for their position. Because we have a center who's making market value right now, and not market. He's making under market value, but it's not a rookie deal, and he's about to get paid more. I don't think we're going to be able to keep our left guard. That's another spot that has to be filled. And Osiris Torrance is coming up towards the end of his rookie deal. He's gonna have to get extended or traded or something. So that could be another spot that we got to worry about filling. Just folks, building a roster is hard. I think Brandon Bean's done a very good job of of building a competitive roster to this point. Yes, the defense could be better, but in order for it to be better, you have to invest smart. We have to invest better. We have to be better at investing. No, how am I going to say? We have to be better in how we invest in the defensive line. Yes, we do need to invest in the defensive line. Yes, the defensive ends, the pass rush has not been what we wanted it to be. Have we tried to get it right? Yes. Von Miller was brought in. He kept getting hurt. We drafted Boogie Basham in the second round. He was a flame. He flamed out. We brought in other guys, drafted, Devon Solomon, who led the NCAA attack last year in college. None of that stuff happened. Like we draft these guys, we brought them in hopes that they would add some juice to the pass rush, and it just hasn't happened. The closest I think we've been to some real juice in the pass rush was against the Chiefs this year with Michael Hoyt. Um, Michael Hoyt and the rest of that line. They were running a lot of stunts. They were doing a lot of weird uh, alignment things where they were just bringing pressure from all over the place, and it really did confuse Patrick Mahomes in the offense. But in true Bills fashion, what happens to Michael Hoyt? Blows his Achilles in the game, right? Having a great game, he blows his Achilles in the game. Done for the year. Hopefully we get him back, to start the season. If not, I mean, you know, we're patiently awaiting his return. So, uh, what does that mean now? Where does that take us now? Well, draft is coming up, and there are some good edge rushers, some really good ones. Um, but it's not a lot of them. So you're gonna have to get your guy very, very quickly. I think if you want to get an impact defensive end, you got to do it within the first 3 rounds. Um, what other ways is possible to get a defensive end? I mean, of course, there's free agency, but defensive ends and free agency, they killing the game, man. You get guys like Bryce up getting $20 million for you know one great season. Um, it's really not worth it to invest in the. It's not worth it to sign a pass rusher in free agency. Now you could trade for one. Um, Actually, before we get to the trade, Trey Hendrickson's available. He's gonna be 32 years old. How much you want to pay Trey Hendrickson? It's gonna be close. It's gonna be 30 plus. It's definitely 30 plus. He's 32 years old. Um, and he's coming off a season where he spent most of the year on uh out on the injured reserve. So how much you want to put in? I don't want to put a lot in that. Sorry. Um, the rest of the free agency pass rush class is not really that great. I mean, Adafi always there. We could have drafted him. We took Rousseau. I think Rousseau's a better player. Um, who else? I mean, it's like Derek Barnett. I think Chase Young is available, but I'm pretty sure he ends up going back to New Orleans. Really, the way you go is the trademark. A couple of quick names that I could throw out there. Obviously, you could try to trade for Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, Giants. There's a relationship there with Joe Schoen and Brandon Bean. Obviously, with Brandon Bean, um, Joe Schoen serving as Brandon Bean's assistant GM here in Buffalo. So it's just a phone call. Pick up the phone and say, I know you guys aren't going to pay KT. You got Abdul Carter. You got Brian Bernstein. I know you're not paying KT. What is it going to take to get KT in Buffalo? And you go there. You see what that is. Or a name just popped up recently. Max Crosby. We talked about possibly trading for Max Crosby last year. Didn't happen. He took a extension with the Raiders, and now he wants out. So, allegedly, according to the report, he wants out, and he's open to being traded, and they're open to trading him. I'm not. I don't know that uh, he's still a fit scheme wise. I don't know that he's still a fit. Um, so I wouldn't make the move. I mean, I think he's a hell of a player, but I just can't see making a move for a guy that's not going to fit the direction his defense is going. He is really good, but he's not he's not Miles Garrett. Like Miles Garrett, you make concessions for him. Um, Von Miller before all of the injuries took a toll on his body. You make exceptions for that guy. Aiden Hutchinson, who's a young guy, like you make exceptions for the elite of the elite. I think Max Crosby's really good. He's not T.J. Watt in his prime. He's not um, Von Miller in his prime. He's really good though, but I don't know that you make the type of concessions that you need to make in order to make him fit in the defense in the direction the defense is going. Plus the draft capital that's going to cost. I don't know this worth. But if you're going to stay with four, if you're going to stay with an even front, I mean, for sure, put him out there. Um, But there are ways schematically to do it. I just don't know if it's worth it to try to make it work. Listen. Most Bills fans will say, "Look, that guy's really good. Go get the talent," and I don't disagree. Um, I don't disagree. He's available and you can pull it off. Sure. I just don't. I just think I would. I don't think he would fit in the 3-4 as an outside linebacker. I could be wrong, but I don't think he would fit. And the draft capital that's going to take to get him is not worth it. We need to utilize that draft capital to continue to get younger on defense, better, faster, more athletic, um, and more coachable because these guys got to learn a new system. And the other thing that does is you keep these young guys on the defensive side of these rookie deals. It allows you to spend more money on the offense. It allows you to go out and get a wide receiver one. Um, allows you to keep that offensive line together for the most part. It allows you to keep your tight end room and your running backs happy. Um, so that's where we are, man. Anybody surprised about the Max Crosby news? I know I am. Um, the man signed a deal, and that's like, why do y'all do that? Like, this is a question that I have for Miles Garrett and the Max Crosby's of the world. Like, bro, like your team sucks. Like, they're not good. You know that you're not going anywhere. Why do y'all do this? Why do y'all keep signing these extensions with these things? No, they're not going nowhere. And you know you're gonna be stuck. So what's the point? Just take a little less money. And I know that's kind of crazy coming from someone who's never gonna make NFL level money, but like, do you prioritize winning or not? Because if you do, you'd want to go to a team where you could win. And that would be the Buffalo Bills. You know. Can we even say that now? Can we even say that the Bills are a team where you know you're gonna win? No. You got a shot, definitely got a chance, and maybe bringing an impact player on defense is the key. Maybe that's the key. Maybe it's not the offense. But that's the conversation that I don't know if Bills Mafia is ready to have. We can pull up the rankings offensively, yards per game, points per game, DVOA, all of that stuff. Bills have been a top 5 offense consistently over the last 5 years. Just have. Offense is not the problem. When Diggs and Davis were running around, we were a top 5 offense. When those guys were gone and we were throwing to the tight ends and running backs and um, grinding it out on the ground, we still were a top 5 offense. Still top 3 in scoring. The only reason why we weren't top 5 in yardage last year is because we sat out. We got so many turnovers and short fields by the time you know we got the ball later, and by the time we got opportunities to get the ball, get a long field, we were already up a couple of scores, running the football, trying to shorten the game, get out of there before guys get hurt. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what path makes the most sense. I know what my opinion is. My opinion is invest in the defense because you don't get it right doesn't mean you stop. Um, mean you stop trying. That was the case, a lot of marriages would be. Well, I mean, a lot of marriages do end. A lot of marriages do end in divorce. But no, it's just like you don't quit. You don't quit trying to get it right because you got it wrong. You keep trying, man. Keep trying until you get it right. Um, for 20 years almost, we couldn't get we never got the quarterback right. We didn't stop drafting quarterbacks. Kept going. Kept adding quarterbacks. Finally, we got the Tyrod Taylor. He broke the drought. And then we got the Josh Allen. And here we are. And that transitions me to the next. out of business for the night. Josh Allen had an interview where they kept asking him questions about I think it was like first take or first things first or something. Kept asking questions about, how how does it feel to, what's going through your head now that, had a really good shot at getting there and you didn't, and all these other things. Just a bunch of questions. Just a bunch of goofy questions. I don't really like questions like that. Like, what do you want him to say right there? I feel great, man. We lost. We came up short again. I feel awesome. Like, I got paid, contract doing well. Wife is fine. About to have a baby. I'm great. Sitting on loads of money, man. Who cares if we want to lose? That, he's not gonna say that. You know what the answer is. The answer is it's terrible. The only thing that can come out of that answer is bad. Like the best case scenario in answering that question is it's a non-story. That's the best. But the biggest question is, will we be able to bring in a piece to make it work? But Tom, so Leonard said, he understands that. Uh, he understands the situation that the roster is in right now. Um, he's not gonna just come in and get rid of a bunch of guys that you know that can help this team this year in hopes that you bring in the right person to fit for this defense. So I'm glad that he's taking that approach. I'm glad that he's going to be more flexible, especially in year one. And I mean, let's be honest, this defense it played well enough to win this year, man. It really did. They played well enough to win this year despite the injuries, and it really sucks that we're not playing on Sunday. Um, but it's not that like we're not that far off. And I feel like we keep having this conversation. I feel like every year this is the conversation we're having around this time. We're close. We're not that far off. We don't need that much. Yeah, we say this every year. So, you know, and maybe that's part of the reason why McDermott had to go. Because something had to change, and it wasn't going to be Josh Allen. And it certainly, based on the statements from the owner, it wasn't going to be the man that found Josh either. So something had to shake, man. Something had to shake, and it was Sean McDermott. He fell out the tree. The tree got shook, and McDermott fell and hit the ground. He's out of there. But this year, no excuses. If we don't get there, Brandon Bean is probably either getting fired or he's on the hottest of hot teams. And if he does build a roster good enough to win, and we get to the game, whether it's the AFC Championship game or the divisional round, or whatever, get to that game, quarterback doesn't come through. Nothing else to say, man. Nothing left. There's no more runway. No more runway. It is what it is. If we get back to the point where we're sitting in the playoff, looking at a couple of teams in our way that we know we should beat, that we're better than, and we don't because of the play or execution on the field by certain players, 17, 4. Those guys have 5 turnovers between them. They killed us. Killed us. We lost by 3 points. That killed us. Yeah, there's no more. There's no more cover. There's no more, buffering. There's no more. There's nothing left. Bottom line is it's got to get done. So I put out a five round mock draft. If you didn't see it, it wasn't live or anything. I recorded it and I uploaded it to YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube, you go to the channel. Um, I don't think it's on Do Champions. No, it's not. It's on the Coast to Coast YouTube channel too. Go to the Coast to Coast YouTube channel, you can find it. I talked a little bit about, one of my draft crushes this year is Akeem Messidor, defensive end from the U, Miami University. Um, and I think the dude is a stud. I think that he has, geez, I don't want to say it, man, but like every time I get into these situations where I don't want to say it, when I'm right, it's like, man, you should have said it before because, you know, like with the Deion Walker thing, I came out and I said, yo, this kid Deion Walker is giving me Chris Jones vibe. And Bills fans were like, Chris Jones? Nah, that's too much. Doing too much right now. This kid might be good, but Chris Jones is a Hall of Famer. You compare him now, those same people are saying this kid reminds me of Chris Jones. He looks like a young Chris Jones. That size, that athletic ability, that that lateral movement, that agility, all of that. Yeah, yeah, yep, that's him. Um, so I'm just gonna go say it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. Akeem Messidor, the vibe I get is like potential defensive rookie. That's it. I think if he comes to Buffalo, I think he has 7 to 8 sacks, uh, probably a couple of interceptions, fumble recoveries. Because I do think this defense is it's going to be an attacking defense. I think we have smart players all over this roster, especially on defense. Benford, Bishop, uh, Trey White, prayerfully he comes back. Milano's been around forever. Same with Shaq Thompson. Like those guys coming back. Terrell Bernard, excellent in coverage. Has a knack to finding the football. I don't know if they give Jordan Poyer another run. Probably not. Um, but AJ Epinesa is another guy. Like you saw what Bosa did. Bosa had like 5 strips, 5 forced fumbles this year. So I don't know about the forced fumbles going up, but I think the numbers go up for these guys. I think Bosa ends up getting more sacks. I think we get more pressure. I think we get to the quarterback a lot more because we're going to be going after the quarterback a lot. No more of this sit back and we're just going to get coverage sacks because coverage is so good. No, no, no. I want the coverage to be good and still get to the quarterback. That's where we at. That's what type of time we on right. So yeah, King Messidor. I'm rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Like I think the kid can come in. I think he get close to double digit sacks in year one. I think he'll get a couple of picks just from the mugging of the line and him dropping back into coverage. He's smart. He's good against the run. He's strong. He doesn't get washed out a ton. He understands how to set the edge. The measurables should check out. The combine is going to be very interesting. Um, he can play with his hand in the dirt. He can rush from a 2 point stance. They dropped him in coverage into the flats and things like that, and hook zones and things like that. They've done it. He can do it. I think this is going to be an opportunity where he comes to a team that's already established. He can just kind of fit in and do his job. And I think he'll do it at a high level. I'm very, very highly. Uh, One more draft crush, Bryce Lance. I think that's his name. the kid from North Dakota State. Now, I'm tired of telling y'all about these receivers from these poo putt schools that nobody ever heard of. Listen, I was right about Christian Watson. He just get hurt too much. I'm telling y'all, and I was wrong. I don't think I was wrong about Zachary Franklin. I think Zachary Franklin screwed himself over by doing another year of college. He should have just came out. There was no reason to go to Ole Miss. If you'd have came out, you'd have went in the fourth round, fourth or fifth round. You'd be on the NFL roster, and you'd have been good, bro. But that young man made a decision. You got to live with it now. Three receivers that I'm looking at, and I say to myself, bro, Bill's got to get one of these guys. Bryce Lance, 6'3", 209, should run a sub 4.40. He can get downfield in a hurry. Uh, his size and skill set is something that the Bills have been looking for the last few years. They just didn't get an opportunity to get it. You saw that last year with them clearly targeting Isaac Tisla, the wide receiver out of Arkansas, that Detroit. I don't know how they stay doing this. Detroit, Brad Holmes, their GM. And Brad Holmes liked the kid. The kid is good. They took Tisla in the second round. Obviously, he didn't have the year that I'm sure they wanted him to have, but he's no joke, man. Physical, can run, um, athlete, you know, will win contested catches. Like, not the greatest route runner, but he competes and he's fast. He's big and he's fast, and he plays the game violent. Um, Bryce Lance, the same. Like, I don't want to say the same thing. I think Bryce is more of a finesse guy, but the kid can get up and go, man, and that's kind of what you want. So everybody's screaming about Alec Pierce. Let's sign Alec Pierce. Let's sign Alec Pierce. Bryce Lance is Alec Pierce, just on a rookie deal. Just go get that guy. You know, don't wait. Don't use the free agency dollars paying a guy who's a wide receiver 2 as if he's a wide receiver 1, and then be disappointed when he doesn't do wide receiver 1 stuff. Don't Let's not set ourselves up. Let's spend that money more a little wide. Uh, and I'd like to go after a safety. I'd like to go after potentially a veteran corner that can come in and compete for the CB2 job. Obviously, I want Maxwell to have it, but there's somebody that's going to come in here and push for snaps. It's going to make it difficult to keep them on. Go get somebody who's going to make it difficult to keep them on the sideline. That's what I want. We also should probably look at free agency and linebacker. A couple guys out there that I think would fit. We want to do. Number one target for me is Leo Chenal, linebacker from the University of Wisconsin. He was drafted one selection after Terrell Bernard. I swore when that was the year that Kyle Brandt went to the draft and he took chicken wing on stage. Very performative, very performative, but it was entertaining. Um, and he introduced Terrell Bernard as the pick. I thought for sure it was Leo Chenal. And I really wish it was. Leo Chenal, 6'2", about 240. He can run. He can get up and go as well. Solid in pass coverage. Really good against the run. Really smart player. And he went to Wisconsin, which is where our DC spent a good amount of time as the defensive coordinator. So I'd like to think maybe, just maybe, we got like the inside track. That is like a dream sign. Dream sign. Give me Leo Chenal next to Terrell Bernard. I'm good. You get, yeah, I'm good with that. Good with that. Get Michael Pittman. Those are the moves that I want. Uh, definitely bring one more corner in because Dorian Strong probably not going to play football again. And that's the way it looks like it's trending. So we definitely got to address that. But Bean wants to make all of these deals and sign and have a full roster pretty much before the draft. So see what he does. All right. So if you didn't like, we'll go back to the mock draft thing. If you didn't see it, it's on the channel. Um, but I'm gonna end the night with a mock draft. Why not? Why not get one out the way, right? Beyond's not here. I was gonna talk a little hockey. We're definitely gonna talk a little NBA because my Celtics made a nice little trade. Well, I think it's nice. I thought it was a good trade. Got ourselves a big man. Y'all can't tell me nothing now. Like I mean, you really can't. We might be going back to the final. Do another. I'm probably gonna pick the same player. Still go back and watch the video anyway. Trying to set it up. All right, let's get this in and out. Get this over with. Get it done. All right. PFF mock draft. Um, now listen, if you want to see, can't post. What comment? Someone comment. All right, yeah. Some things give me a notification talking about you can't post some of the comments because of the destination. Whatever. I don't even know what that means to be honest. Whatever. Let's go through with it. All right. So these are the settings. I turned it down here. I got 5 rounds. Turn it down because I don't want to. I want to be able to like look and see some of the things. That's too slow. All right, right there. I turned care for positional value. I turned it up a little bit. Yeah, I turned it up a little more. Yeah. Yeah, turn up a little more draft and needs. I'll turn that down. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you're still going to draft the needs. And then randomness, no. Like, bro, I'm not turning this up. Like, if you turn this up, you're a psycho. If you have this like really high, you're a psycho. Yes, the the draft is a crapshoot, and it does like weird things happen. Jonathan Mingo should have been a 4th round pick. I think Panthers took him in the second. I I don't know. I don't know why. Um, Shakir went in the 5th round. Tariq Woolen went in the 6th, and Kyrie Elam went in the 1st the same year. I don't know. Makes no sense. No. So I'm leaving that low. All right, now we're gonna enter the draft. I got obviously the Buffalo Bills selected. Oh wait, oh, there we go. Enter draft. Now I didn't do trades before. I will entertain trades right now because we got a little bit more time. Let's just start the draft. Yeah. Everything looks to be wow, Sonny. Oh, he went 7 overall. That's Sonny Styles going 7 overall, yo. Need you to get your pick over to one Bills drop. Yo, I'm so sick right now. So the two guys, the 3 guys, Denzel Boston goes to the Eagles. TJ Parker, Ash from Clemson, goes to the Browns. And Akeem Messidor, the guy was talking. He goes immediately right now. Those are 3 guys that I would have definitely taken at this pick. Now Casey Concepcion is it right there. I like him, but I mean, bro, like he's little. Like 5'11", 190, and I think that that's generous. I don't think he's really 5'11". I don't think he's 190. I think it's a little lighter. Just remember, a few years ago, we walked into this draft, we walked into the offseason thinking Xavier Leggett was 6'3" and 225 pounds. And the weight was about right. He's only 6'1". And we thought Troy Franklin was 6'4", 190. Turned out Troy Franklin was 6 feet, 175. So, you know, whatever. All right, let's look. We don't need a tackle. We could use a linebacker. CJ Allen's right there. Um, Kristen Miller's right there. I'm not super high on him. Casey Concepcion's a guy that I would honestly take right here, but I'm gonna see what's available. Miami, the Colts. Hmm. Three picks is mine. Miami's got a good amount of picks. All right, so let's trade with Miami. We'll give them 26. We'll take 43 and 87. We get 75? Oh, we get 75. All right, so yeah, we'll do that. Miami's taking the play. All right, so we made the trade with Miami. We trade back a little bit, got an extra pick. I like that. Who they take? Oh, they took KC Concepcion. All right, so the safeties, a lot of the guys that I wanted are gone now. But safety's been an issue. We definitely need a safety. AJ Halsey is right there. What other guys? Deontay Scott is here. I wouldn't mind taking him. D'Angelo Pounds. These are slot guys. D'Angelo Pounds, Deontay Scott. Those are slot guys. Both of them are very good. They also are old. They have 401ks. No, I'm joking. They're not. They're not that. Not that. Notice this too. Like they stopped putting their ages up here. You notice that this year they took the ages out. That's corny. Um, you can't protect this. You can't protect it. We're gonna Google it. We're gonna find out. Romello Height. Romello Height. Listen, folks. Romello Height would be perfect. When I say I mean he would be perfect as an outside backer in an odd front. I'm I remember watching Texas Tech against Kansas, and this kid Romello Height, wow, it felt like he had 8 sacks that game. It felt like he was playing for the offense because he was in the backfield immediately. So I like this guy a lot, but again, this is where you can't draft with your heart. You got to draft with your head. Lee Hunter makes a lot of sense right here. Mark Ramsey's there. If I go safety here, I don't feel like I'm reaching. Emmanuel Pregnon, that's actually not a bad selection either because if you draft this guy, you can immediately plug him in at left guard. Or let's look, let's see where he lines up. Yeah, left guard for 3 years straight, like high level starter. Um, yeah, this is a guy that I would consider right here uh, at 43. What do y'all think, man? Because I'm torn right now. Um, I'm torn. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure. Um, Based on needs of the team, the right pick is probably Romello Height because I think that the fall off is kind of crazy after him, right? You know, let me check. Go with the guard, plug and play. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that. Let's look at edge though. Let's see what else. Like Derek Moore is a guy that fits. Anthony Lucas, yeah. I love Tariq Sapp. I don't think he's an outside back. I think he's more of a 4 guy. Jay Sean Barham, he fits as well. Malachi Lawrence is a demon. He's a demon. I like him a lot. Um, there's other guys like even all right. You know what? We're going with the guard, bro. Plug and play. I hate it. I hate taking this right now. I hate that move. But I just feel it was the right move, man. I feel it was the right move. We still can get the safety here. That matters. Um, Probably the better selection at that point would have been the nickel, because now the nickel's like not there. The nickel was the right pick. I should have went with Keontae Scott because that's plug and play nickel guy immediately. Um, you can always get offensive line later, so I screwed that up. But whatever. Uh, Safety, I'm not rushing that. I'm gonna go here and this kid can play, man. He can really, really, really play. He's a boundary guy, but he's a really good player. I wanted him last year, but he didn't come out. Receivers there. There's other receivers like we could wait. I don't think both Brazil and Skylar Bell. I'm gonna go receiver at 20 at 75. Right here. What do we do? What do we do already? All right, we went guard, so offensive line. I'm not touching. He's got the profile to be an outside edge, man. He's got the profile to do it. I don't know. Citrus is right there. I mean, we can address that later, or should we just do it now? 6'4", 325. This is a true gold stack. You know what? Yeah, man. He plays outside. He can play slot too. Um, so what's going to end up happening is right. I'm not gonna like. I should have taken a corner already, and then we wouldn't have to worry about this. But I'm gonna take Chandler Rivers here and pass up on Dominique Arnold. No, I'm not. I'm taking Dominique Arnold. You know why? I'm gonna take Dominique Orange there because I think we addressed the position. Brazil left. Okay. Skylar Bell's still there. All right, good. It's no brainer, bro. Skylar Bell. Like, if you don't know who that is, man, go do your homework. Skylar Bell, he's a dog. But so the reason why I took what did I take? I took Chandler Rivers there. Nope, I took the. All right, so the reason why I went with Dominique Orange because I don't believe that we should um limit Deion Walker to just play a nose tackle. I like to be able to move him around. I'd like to be able to put him um, in positions where he's lined up against a tackle. I'd like to see him on the edge. I like to see him one on one with a guard versus taking on double teams all year. So let's let that kid do his thing. Let him maximize his talent, and yeah, we're good. So so I did that. Skylar Bell got the receiver. Now Antonio Williams, I like Antonio Williams a lot, like a lot. Like guy, mostly slot. You see a lot of slot action. Um, but he can play out wide. 5'11", 190. I think that's about true to form. He probably is a 5'11", um, you know, 5'10", 5'11", and he can get up and go a little bit. Very good route runner, but we already took Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell's a 3-level receiver, in my opinion. I think he can win anywhere on the field. He's an excellent route runner. He's got, um, you know, I think his hands are good. I like him all the way around. So we don't have the edge. Jacob Rodriguez went. That's a linebacker I was going to grab, but we don't have the edge. So, ooh, Jesus, man. Yeah, taking the safety. This kid, Genesis Smith, he is he's a center fielder. Like, you know what it is? Think Micah Hyde, like how just like he can just get up and go get the football. That's this guy. But he's bigger, 6'2", 204. So what that gives us now as the Bills, that gives us an opportunity to still be able to uh, be deceptive with safeties. Now you don't have to just leave Genesis in, coverage. He can rotate to the box. I'm comfortable with Bishop playing out there sometimes in the deep third. I'm cool with it. Not all the time, not a lot, but I'm cool with it for now. All right. So our picks so far: Emmanuel Pregnon, Dominique Orange, Skylar Bell, Genesis Smith. I think we're doing well so far. If I'm being honest. Could have got just could have got a Drew Allard went through cold. I can see that. 17. All right, now where are we at? Well, did I do this for 5 or 7? I did 5 rounds. I think I did 5 rounds. Yeah, so I got 2 picks left. So I think this is round 4. Yeah, round 4. All right. We got safety. We got nose tackle, interior offensive line, and wide receiver. What's next? Probably corner. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Jalen Kilgore. He is a slot slash safety. The guy can play both areas. Kind of like Jordan Hancock, but I mean I hope he's better. Because like Jordan Hancock did not play well in the playoffs, but whatever. He's getting good against the run. Um, looks a lot like Hancock on film, though. To be honest with you. So this is the pick. It just makes the most sense. I like linebacker here in this spot, but nah, you got the receiver. Bryce Lance is right there. I like Bryce Lance a lot, but we already took a guy, Skylar Bell. So trades. Maybe I can trade and get both. Let me see. Trade with the Saints. Ain't going for that. Go for it if I give them. I might as well just give them the last. Give them 2 7s. They give us, yeah, we'll do it. Perfect. All right. We took. Don't touch my. Don't touch my players, yo. What happened? Saints came up, took interior offensive line. Jacoby Lane, big physical wide receiver, goes to the Niners. Safety Safety goes to the Bears. Makes sense since they got two safeties that I think are free agents. Cade Klubnik to the Broncos. All right, whatever. Um, and the Patriots took a tackle because the tackle they took really is a guard. All right, yo, we got what picks we got left? 132 and 166. I'm not going to be able to get Bryce Lance unless I trade back again. I can't go back now and spot. That's too much. Never mind. All right, so we're just going to take Kilgore here. Kilgore is the selection. We managed to pick up another pick. Oh, wait. Yeah, we doing good so far, guys. I like this so far. Um, yeah, I don't. Only spot we didn't touch that we probably need to touch is linebacker. Let's see what's about. Ooh, this guy right here. Would love to add him, but that would be adding him to a very, very crowded room already. Which is, I mean, you can never have enough, right? Having Coleman Jr. might be worth a look. Monty Jackson. If he was actually coming out, that would be a guy I would take. He's gonna run like a 4.3 flat. Uh, yeah, linebacker pretty thin now. Kyle Lewis, he had a really good Senior Bowl. Um, 6'1", 220, low light, low light. He can cover his ASS off. They play him in a slot box. Oh, yeah, yeah. This is the guy. We're gonna attack that. We're gonna take another undersized linebacker. That's fine. Another undersized guy. And do we have any more picks? No. That's it. All right. That's it, man. What we got? Let's see what PFF gives us as a grade. Personally, guys, I think I'm very happy with this. If the draft looks like this is an excellent draft. You get a guy who can come in and play slot and double dip at safety as well. So if you want to go to a 3-3-5 look and you want to really get freaky and drop the nickel into deep half and bring the safeties down into the box and really cause havoc, drop or drop the corners into the thirds, bring the safeties down, the buzz the flats. Like there's a lot you could do. Send blitz, like you could do a lot with that guy. Skylar Bell, I absolutely love. Um, draft has a Google guy about that guy. 3-level route runner. I think he's a stud. Genesis Smith might be the best free safety prospect in the draft. Um, when you think of him, you think of Jonas Sanker last year. He's really a good athlete. Can get where he can get anywhere on the field and just kind of knows where to be, how to get there, and to do what he's there. Smart, smart, smart player. Dominic Orange, aka Big Citrus, gives us that physical presence in the middle against the run. He is physical. He is big. Um, yeah. So I would definitely, I'm definitely happy with this. Uh, but if you're not, that's fine. Just put your mock draft together and send it to me so I can tell you where you went wrong. You're not just gonna crap on mine. All right, we're gonna crap on each other. Okay? No, seriously. This is the fun part of the off season, man. If you do watch, if you are one of those like, draft nerds like me that will sit down in front of a computer or your phone and watch, uh, a player being highlighted, not as highlights, but game film, all 22 style of one player for 4 or 5 games, so you get a real good view of what he does on the field and what to expect. Like honestly, that is part of the reason why, there's certain guys I see and I say, yo, this guy's gonna be good. And this guy's not. I, you know, I saw Tariq Woolen in college. I said this guy could be one of the best corners in football. Be one of the best corners in football. And his rookie year, he was looking like he was on that track. Um, I think he's amazing. I think Trey Amos plays for the Washington Commanders. I was my draft crush last year. He had a good year until he got hurt. Keep your eye out for him. Deion Walker as well. Good job about him. Um, Receiver wise, who did I like last year? Receiver Kyle Williams. I liked Kyle Williams a lot last year. We ain't get him. Went to the Patriots, but like that was a. I really wish we would have grabbed that kid. He's a stud. Nah, but we took Landon Jackson. So anyway, but yeah, so once again, 5 round mock draft. We ended up getting 6 picks out of that because I did trade back and pick up an extra third. So 2 picks in the second round. Went with Emmanuel Pregnon, the guard out of Oregon. Dominic Orange, defensive tackle out of Iowa State. Round 3, Skylar Bell at 75. Wide receiver out of Connecticut. Genesis Smith, safety out of Arizona. Round 4, Jalen Kilgore. Round 5, linebacker. Jalen Kilgore, corner slash nickel slash safety from USC, University of South Carolina, not USC, University of Southern California. And round 5, Kyle Lewis, linebacker, Pittsburgh. Looked really good this week. See both practice and stuff. So I think it was a good draft. If the draft looks anything like that, we should be very, very happy. If it doesn't, then Brandon Beane's gonna get fired, and we'll be doing this next year, talking about who the new GM is. So probably it'll be Terrence Gray, but that's all I got, folks. Man, for the 100+ that came in and listened, you know, I appreciate it. Uh, keep interacting if you can. Send a like, send a comment. You don't have to send a like, but just comment. Um, Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll get access when other content comes up that's not uh night, like on a Wednesday night. Sometimes I drop little shorts and things like that, little videos here and there. So and you're only gonna find that on the YouTube channel. If you care enough, check it out. If not, you think this content sucks. All right, but still subscribe to it. Subscribe to it just so you can hate on it. All right, subscribe and then leave nasty comments like your beard's too gray, you suck, you don't know football, whatever. Like any attention is cool, right? Isn't it? No, it's not. If you do that, I am gonna respond. It's gonna get nasty. So, but whatever. We're just talking football, man. All right, let me get out of here. Go to bed. You guys do the same. Enjoy your night. And we didn't even talk about Josh Allen's interview, and that's fine. I'll wait for you beyond next week. We'll discuss it. Or maybe I'll do like a short video tomorrow or something. Yeah, because I didn't, spoiler alert, I didn't like the Josh Allen interview. I was not, uh, some of the things he said threw me off a little bit. But if you want to hear it, if you want to hear my assessment, you're going to have to check it out because it's going to be on the YouTube channel. I'll do a short video tomorrow. I'll upload it, and yeah, that'll be that. All right, folks, thank you for coming through. Shout out to my co-host, my guy who is not here today, but here in spirit, Beyond 716. Let me check really, really quick because I want to see. Oh, yeah, Boston. Oh, wow. The Knicks, 134, Denver, 127. That's a big win. That's a good win. Boston, 114 to 93 over Houston. And we did that on the road. So we're still tied with the Knicks, man. Whatever. All right. That's all I got. We'll pick this up next week. Um, hopefully some moves start. Well, I don't even think moves get made. Hopefully next week we can discuss the Super Bowl. The Seahawks beating. Hopefully the Seahawks beat the crap out of the New England Patriots. We can talk about it next week. I will not be watching the Super Bowl. I will, however, be checking on the score because I'm very invested in the Seahawks beating the uh, beating the Patriots. For all those Spanish speakers out there, how do you say yes in Spanish? Seahawks. Let's go. Have a good night, everybody. Go Bills.